So Hen Mazzig has reported that the United Nations have dismissed its special advisor on genocide prevention. Why? For taking the bold step, forgive my lost voice by the way, the bold step of disagreeing that there is a genocide in Gaza. The blasphemy. How could you possibly disagree with what is so blatantly obvious? It's laughable. If ever we had any doubt for any second how much contempt we should hold the United Nations in, how they are a bunch of children in a rowdy classroom who have no clue about morality, ethics, or sanity, well, it should be confirmed now.
What is it they can teach us to help us to prevent another genocide?
This is her.
It's left to be manipulated, especially by politicians or by people who have other interests.
So, quote, the Wall Street Journal saying the damage here includes defending genocide down. The word has become a weapon of political propaganda that will erode its moral authority when it's needed to describe genuine horrors. That sounds like something we've been saying.
Teaching for the Auschwitz Institute for the Prevention of Genocide. So the consciousness kept growing on me, and ultimately now I find myself in this position as the special advisor on the prevention of genocide, advising the Secretary General as an Under-Secretary General, and really you cannot imagine a better position from which to articulate the values of Fahamu that I learned from my grandfather, that I am in this space where I'm able to do something about it. And I do not imagine a single day when I do not walk into this office and think about Fahamu, especially because I see those who deny the Holocaust, and those who deny genocides like those that happened in Srebrenica and in Rwanda against the Tutsi. The deniers of the genocides take the template from the deniers of the Holocaust, teaching.
So Alice Nderitu, an accomplished mediator specialising in genocide prevention, led an office that issued a guidance paper on the proper use of the term genocide. The paper emphasised that UN officials should, quote, adhere to the correct usage of the term, due to its political and legal sensitivities, and its frequent misuse to describe large-scale crimes against specific populations. Nderitu explained that while the conflict has caused significant loss of life, Israel's actions aim to dismantle a terrorist regime, not to exterminate an ethnic group. She also noted that Israel has made efforts to minimise civilian casualties, even as Hamas used civilians as human shields to exploit their death for propaganda. Her position clashes with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' manufactured narrative. On the right is Karim Khan, who stands accused of sexual assault and kept his job at the ICC. On the left is the UN's genocide expert, Alice Nderitu, who insisted on telling the truth about Israel's war against Hamas and lost hers. Hen finished by writing, radical voices accuse us of manufacturing consent for genocide whenever we speak about our grief and Hamas's war crimes. But they are the ones manufacturing a genocide that doesn't exist. Instead of standing up for Hamas victims, Israelis and Palestinian civilians, they dilute the meaning of the word that best describes their crime. You know, it's so stupid when people say, yeah, but there's been 40,000 people have died, and they don't ever, in Gaza, and they don't ever stop to ask the question, how many of those are Hamas? They just throw around numbers. It looks like Israel has between a 1 to 1 to 1 to 2 combatant to non-combatant ratio, which is the lowest in the history of modern urban warfare. What more could you possibly want of Israel? In the Battle of Mosul, when the Allies were fighting against ISIS in Iraq, you know what the ratio was? From combatant to non-combatant, it was about between 1 to 9 to 1 to 13, from what I've researched. Was America accused of genocide? Israel has shown more discriminate rather than indiscriminate attacks at the cost of their own lives, Israeli soldiers' lives, which I question the morality of. So what more could you possibly want? If they've had the lowest ratio ever and you're saying it's still a problem, then what else do you want? It's still genocide. There's 2 million people living there in Gaza, roughly. We keep being told there's starvation, that's what they're doing. And yet Israel's sending ridiculous amounts of aid in, food in, which gets taken by Hamas. And even still, by the way, we haven't seen this massive skyrocket in deaths from starvation. It's just lie after lie after lie. And standard that is imposed on Israel, or set for Israel, that no other nation would be expected to keep or to stand for. So this should just be another nail in the coffin of the United Nations esteem that we may otherwise have held it in. I mean, I personally didn't, but for those who did, this should give you all the clarity you need.
If you've made it so far in this video, I have a request for you. JTV has been having a really big impact in spreading the truth about Israel and creating positive associations with the Jewish people, Judaism, and Israel. We've really grown a lot, particularly in the last year, and we're having a really significant impact, both for Jews and non-Jews. But I really want to take JTV to the next level so we can start to compete with the other big online media beasts that are often peddling anti-Israel content. And the way we're going to do that is to scale even faster. So I'd love to build a team where we have other presenters doing shows like me. Let's start doing documentaries, supplementary content, animated content, etc., etc. And to do that, I'd like to build a bit of a team. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one fundraising day, just one, where we try and build up some funding in order to fund such a team. Now, to do that, it's going to obviously require people to get involved. And I'm wondering if you would consider, if you're watching JTV content and appreciate what we do and want to help partner with us in taking this to the next level and spreading the truth farther and wider than ever before, I wonder if you'd consider partnering with us simply by running a mini page on the fundraiser that we do, where you just reach out to your contacts on that day that we choose to fundraise and see if they'll all chip in. If you'd be up for doing that, of which I would be so grateful, then please click on the Google form link in the video description of this video, where you can simply just put in a few contact details. It'll be a very small commitment, as I say, literally just one day that we'll all agree upon as a collective community. But the impact is going to be so big. There's such strength in numbers. If we all pull together and do this, we can take this to the next level. And as I say, all of us can partner together in bringing and spreading the truth to the whole world. So please do consider clicking on that link, filling in the form, and I'll be in touch very soon to talk about the next steps. Small commitment, but a big impact. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.